Hello, Glenn.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Excellent.
Great.
Did you want to do a video interview or audio?
Oh, it doesn't really matter. I could do an audio or video. It's up to you.
Okay, because I'm not sure how presentable I am for video. I've
That's
been out
fine.
in the field, cutting grass in the stone circles, and I'm all hot and sweaty.
That's okay. We'll capture the real essence of who you really are. I think it'll bring something maybe to the conversation. But I know you're incredibly crazy busy right now. So I really appreciate that you take the time to do this. Because for someone like me, when you blog about the things I blog about, and you're as cynical as I am, especially with politics or anything to do with politics, and you find someone like the Ubuntu movement, you have to showcase what your party's about. And I just felt watching Bernie Sanders and seeing the changing climate out there in the States, seeing what people are basically fed up of the establishment. I just thought, you can do it too. And you've got this fantastic idea of aiming realistically at small municipalities and showcasing what you can do. And I think you've got a real shot at maybe making an impact here. So I just thought I'd chat to you, maybe get a bit of a feel, a sense of what you're really about. And hopefully I can just bring it across to a few of the people who do follow me on my blog. Um, and I'm sure they'll be very interested in learning a little bit more.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, great. What so when you say you've been very busy, I mean, I'm not going to ask you what your schedule's like, but right now you're back at the Stone Circles. I've put a bit of your potted history embedded in the actual post, so you don't have to repeat all your links too often. It all is accessible to anyone who's watching this right now. But how much time are you actually sort of spending on the campaign, and how much time are you spending on your other interests?
Well, the campaign is pretty much taking, I'd say, 90% of my time. It should be taking up 100% of my time, but unfortunately, it's impossible because I have other things that I do to keep me alive as well. So I still have to do tours to the ancient ruins to bring some money in and continue campaigning for funding around the world. And at the same time, the Ubuntu movement has just exploded, especially in Europe now. It seems that 2016 has just arrived with an absolute big bang for the growth of consciousness around the world. It's quite spectacular. The Ubuntu movement and the Ubuntu party in Austria has just gone absolutely crazy. It just takes one person to take the initiative and the drive, like what I've done in South Africa. And well, I've been doing it around the world for 6 years now, speaking about it for 11 years, and actively traveling around the world for six consecutive. This is my seventh year, promoting the concept of Ubuntu and contributionism, a world without money, and laying the foundation for what people are now starting to realize is not just a pipe dream and a crazy notion by some crazy South African, but is actually a feasible reality that we can all achieve. Once you
Well, this is
understand the process and you know the plan of action, you realize how simple it is. So we'll get back to that, I guess. But so the Ubuntu movement is now exploded in Austria, Germany, Czech Republic, UK already registered as a political party. We participated in the party there in 2015, and Ireland, Canada, USA, and Australia. Those are the strongholds of the Ubuntu movement and the Ubuntu party around the world.
Well, this is just it. This is what's so interesting to me. Is it's not just a political party. It really is a global movement.
Yeah,
And the time is right. I mean, this is your moment. Bernie
yeah,
Sanders, I know, more conventional politician, but he's getting small donations from a lot of different people. He's taking on the banker candidate, who is Hillary Clinton. I mean, he's not everything that Ubuntu is. But to go all the way to the top in the States, you're not going to get all the way there. I think unless you have some semblance of a mainstay structure organized around you, you're going to go in from the bottom up, grassroots. And I think this is the zeitgeist. This is what I'm feeling. Sense in the air. You talk about 2016. I've been talking about 2016 for quite a while, and
good, good.
yeah, it just feels things are right. And maybe you want to talk about how you're actually aiming at these community projects. You talk about the free electricity. You've done a lot of these goodwill projects, and I think there's missing a sense. People are disillusioned. There's a sense of community has been lost.
Yeah,
The interest in politics has gone down. One
yeah.
small, I mean, if you can't get that one small municipality, then I think we've missed something here. People have got to step up. I want to do my little bit and trying to get them, encourage them to go and do this.
Yeah, that's exactly. Just to add to what you said earlier, the Ubuntu movement globally has grown so unimaginably. 11 years ago when I first started talking about the world without money and calling it contributionism, and then it became Ubuntu, when I realized it's really the same thing as Ubuntu, just in a modern version of it in a capitalist world. And I just never imagined that it would grow into such a global phenomenon. We have members in virtually every country of the world, about 215 countries, the last count. It's spectacular, unimaginable that something like this could have happened. I certainly did not set out with that plan in mind. It just happened organically.
I was wondering about that. I mean, was this your plan, or did it just evolve, and were you adaptable? Did you just...
No, I just started this movement and started sharing the information. And before I knew, all these people were joining from all over the world. So what it tells us is that it's an idea whose time has come. It's the information that resonates in people's hearts. And there was one thing that keeps coming to mind when we were in the 2014 elections, and some of your followers may not be aware of this. I ran for president in 2014 in South Africa. That's how bizarre it is. And we had huge support. We had about 1 million followers in South Africa.
Yes.
The results on the election, the results did not show that, because the entire outcome of the elections is completely corrupt. Yes. And completely manipulated.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm gonna just turn my phone off because people are trying to phone me while I'm talking to you, and that's not a good thing.
The corruption, I know I find that these things hound a lot of people, but if you spend too much time talking about it, that you're generally painted with a brush that you're some sort of crackpot who can't accept that, the establishment has a far reach. There's an old saying that it's not the people who vote that decide, it's the people who count the votes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I discovered in the national elections. But I had to do that because that was my education. Once again, you have to go through these processes and these events to learn from it so that you get wiser and stronger. And my education on that is invaluable, because that's when I realized that we will be far more effective if we participate on a local election and go for the municipalities and win just one municipality, so that our Ubuntu elected mayor becomes the lawful and legal authority in that area, the political authority, and we can then implement the simple Ubuntu plan of action. And that's what you referred to earlier, is the plan that I call a cunning plan, and it's a brilliant, simple plan of action.
It struck me as something that could actually work, because, I mean, everybody complains about the corruption. Everybody complains about the system. We all know that they're corrupt. But you want to either vote in somebody who you know is going to do a lousy job, who's in the pocket of the establishment already, or you've got somebody like yourself who's, I think, has enough credibility, has earned enough trust, certainly more than the establishment candidates. People need to take that next step now, and if they're not going to do it now, they're never going to do it. And I just get tired of hearing them complain when there are options out there,
Well, there are options. That's what I always remind people. Ubuntu Party is now the new option. It's the only alternative other than all the other political parties. And the reason I can make such a ridiculous statement is, first of all, go on our website, read what we stand for, and you realize that we are saying the things that resonate in people's hearts. And one of the things that I was leading up to earlier when I ran for the elections in 2014, in one of the 2 major radio interviews that we were granted by mainstream radio, that's all we got. Okay, the big parties get hundreds of interviews, TV shows. We got 2 radio interviews. That was it, on 702 and on SAFM, and on both of those radio stations, the callers in, the SMSs, the tweets, the emails that were coming in were 100% in support of what I was saying on radio. It was quite astonishing. It got so bad that the presenters were trying to play devil's advocate and try and trip me up because none of the callers were doing it.
But I mean, you see it. If you saw Ron Paul's election campaign in the States in 2012, it was an absolute sham. It was clearly rigged, and the media ultimately, I think, might have tilted in the balance. I mean, you've gone through it, I know for a fact. But that's why people like me have to start getting involved. This is the spirit of Ubuntu right here.
Yes.
Everybody's stepping out.
I must compliment you, Glenn, that you're one of the first South Africans that's actually taken the time to get hold of me and to interview me. Most of my interviews are with overseas radio stations and individuals, and I've probably done 0.1% interviews with people in South Africa and radio stations and independent media in South Africa. Most of them are from overseas.
Well, I'm glad. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks very much. But it was getting impossible to ignore you because the parallels of what I write about and what you're covering, I couldn't ignore them anymore. You know, I'm not known to advocate any political movement because like I said, I'm so cynical about it. But when you find an option that's there, you have to. You simply have to do something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where, I was almost considering the Russell Brand style of not voting at all. But when there's a candidate, you have to.
No, that doesn't help. The not voting doesn't help if there is a solution. But
Yes.
there has not been, an alternative. But there has not been an alternative. And what I was leading up to earlier again is that what differentiates us from other political parties and all other political parties is that none of the other parties, and I'm talking about the mainstream parties, even the EFF. Some people say that what we say is very similar to the EFF. No, it's not. We have a plan of action. The EFF does not have a plan of action.
Yes.
We tell the people about the banks, about the criminal banking activities, how the banking system works, and the fact that the South African Reserve Bank is a private corporation that controls our government, and the government is the puppet of the South African Reserve Bank that has stolen our country, stolen our mineral resources, stolen our land from the people, our farms, and everything has been stolen from us by the South African Reserve Bank. This
Historically, our
private
goal.
corporation
I mean,
that has
anybody who grasped
completely
this,
hijacked our country.
if people understood what was actually going on, like Henry Ford said, there'd be a revolution by morning. If they really grasped it, but it's almost so surreal that I don't think it is actually fully grasped. And when people, they've got to get their minds around this. We're not a bunch of crooks. We're not a bunch of crazies. The people who eventually start taking this, using this narrative, are people who dig a bit deeper. And once you start digging, it gets addictive. You can't ignore it. You can't. It's literally like waking up from the matrix. Even a party like the DA, who are very good administrators, they run the municipalities very well, ultimately are going to be working with the central banks. They're going to be working within the institutions that are basically designed to maintain the status quo. They can't bring out meaningful change. And this is where someone like Russell Brand would have to throw his theory out if you're looking to actually overhaul or change the system. And this is why, you basically, I consider you the only option locally. The fact that internationally you're a movement, and internationally everybody is getting tired. Spain, you're looking at Greece, in the States, the UK with Jeremy Corbyn. Like you say, the time is now. But I'm not going to be able to talk about everything. You're not going to be able to talk about everything here today. But I put all the links to your site. I really encourage people to donate. All the links to your donate page, your Ubuntu Liberation Movement, the campaign site, as well as your global site are there. I had a look at your connector, where you can connect with like-minded people around the world. I think it's a fantastic idea. It's all in line with what you're doing. It's all to a theme. People lack the sense of community. There's only franchise stores. The mom and pops are gone. There's franchise disenfranchisement everywhere, and we're alienated, we're estranged. We need a sense of community, and I think when they realize you can maybe bring that back to them, that you're not a naive idealist, I don't think they're going to be able to resist the temptation of voting for you. I think if the message is out there, I think it's a done deal. It's just getting it out there that's going to be tricky, and obviously I'll do my little bit to help. But is there anything else you want to talk about? Perhaps something that's going on right now that maybe is relevant and happening, that you want to just use this forum as a vehicle for?
Well, what I want to say is people go to the Ubuntu Party website, ubuntuparty.org.za, read as much as you can. Just scroll down on the news page and you'll find a lot of articles, a lot of references to what's going on around the world, what we're doing in South Africa, our plan of action, a bullet point, step-by-step plan of action, our manifesto, what we stood for in the national elections, and how that has changed. Going after the small municipalities, the smallest municipalities, for the simple reason that we don't have much money. We got very little money. I got less than 300,000 rand to spend on the entire election process. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't know how you've done it, but you're doing something right. Well, Michael, I really appreciate your time. I really do, and I know even just sending you an email We'll get a nice little reply back, apologizing in advance for the fact that you won't have time to get to anyone, and I appreciate that. But if you ever want to call in or check in and just update me and let me know if there's been any notable development, I'd welcome that. I really would like to get behind what you're doing, and it's any way I can help, just let me know.
No, thanks, Glenn. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. And just my parting words to your followers on this blog is become a seat of consciousness in your area. Start talking about this. That's how we're going to take our country back from the corrupt criminal bankers, because that's where it's at right now. And start bringing the control back into the communities so the people truly govern their own communities and not the government or the municipality that is controlled by the banking families and the giant corporations, destroying our lives on every level. So become a seat of consciousness. If you can at all, read the Ubuntu contributionism book. Get a copy of it. Download the ebook if you can't get a physical copy. But many of the bookshops in South Africa, exclusive bookstores, they do stock it. If not, ask them to order it. Within a few days, they can have it. Or you can order it from me online. We'll send it to you. Send me an email and we'll send you the book. Obviously, the book is the main funding mechanism for the Ubuntu party. So that's how we generate, is through selling the book, mostly. So
I'll get those details, and I'll also make sure.
If I could give it away for free, I would.
No, I don't want that. I want you to get your funds. This is the whole thing. Michael, that's music to my ears, your parting message there. I'll look for the ebook link as well. I'll put all the links that anybody needs to get involved with Ubuntu up. And I'll bed this interview in the post with all that information. Thanks again. It's been great talking to you, and I hope that we speak again soon.
Excellent, Glenn. Thank you for the interest, my friend.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Ciao.